Hey, welcome back to the theater of the Digital Signage Showcase, being brought to you by the kind sponsors of this theater, listed to my right and left. This has been pulled together by MultiMedia Solutions, one of the premier AV commercial integrators in the business. And as you leave this part of the Digital Signage Showcase's theater area, be sure and go in and look at some of the demonstration areas about how digital signage is used in staff communications, in retail, and other areas. We've had the pleasure today of interviewing some of the industry leaders, of hearing some case studies, hearing presentations from those most capable in the industry. I'll share with you my excitement for being with Tony Hymes today. Many of you would probably know Tony not by his face, because he is the behind-the-scenes editor at DOOHSocial. Welcome, Tony.
Thank you, Lyle. Appreciate it very much.
But before we go into this interview, and my first question to you is going to be, so what's up with ad-based networks? So I'm going to ask you that to start. But by way of further introduction, I'll ask Tony's indulgence here. Many of you have seen the special supplements that have been produced about digital signage and carried in the Wall Street Journal, USA Today several times, and National Post in the Canadian market. And so it's been Tony Hymes, as publisher, who was behind the production of those supplements that have carried the message of digital signage so deeply into those executive levels. So congratulations on great work on that. What's going on with DOOH?
Well, DOOH, as we define it, Lyle, and first of all, thank you so much. I've had a great pleasure of sitting in on a couple of the talks you've given so far, and they've been great here at InfoComm. Digital out of home, as we define it, is the overall umbrella that encompasses a lot of the different technologies that make it possible. And digital out of home, I think, traditionally has had a very kind of wow factor that has scared some of the marketers away. They don't feel comfortable with it. They're not sure about how it works. There has been a struggle to standardize some of the metrics that we're seeing. But beyond that, I think that there's the key word that I've been hearing everywhere at the show is scalability. We have not been able to really see a large number of networks get together on such a scale that allows for the multi-year, multi-million-dollar ad buys. That's challenge number one to the DOOH industry. And I don't think I'm saying anything new here. I think people are doing that. But we're now starting to see that the CPMs, for example, that different sorts of networks are commanding are changing. And they're changing because the people are realizing that the closer you are to the action that you want your advertisement to achieve, the more money it's going to be worth.
Okay, let's come back to that a little bit later.
Sure.
And we're going to really look at how much money there is really available from advertising and what the trends are in that area. But could we please back up and talk about this point that you used, and that is that DOOH kind of encompasses it all. So many of us have heard the term digital signage, location-based media, video networks, narrowcasting. So do you consider DOOH to be the definition of networks supported by ad dollars, or is it broader than that?
I think it's actually broader than that.
Okay.
I think that digital out of home, as the term is in the advertising community, is a very small, hopefully byline, but a very small part of that. I define it as anything that's outside of your home that's digital. I mean, I think it's the literal definition of this. So you could go to extend that certainly to mobile, and then all of the capabilities that mobile's allowing, like social media, different sorts of integration. I think that digital out of home is that umbrella, and I think it's a proper term to be used. I know that there's a lot of talk about the terms for this type of thing, but that's the term that everybody outside of the industry that we define, refers to it.
Okay.
So I think that's the way we have to sell it.
Okay, but let's drill down a bit on that.
Sure.
And the term digital out of home really came about because in the ad agency media planning buying world, there is a line item, there is a budget allocation for out of home, and there is a budget allocation for internet, which is kind of digital. And so the term digital out of home seemed to satisfy the need to be able to get at a number of buckets, a number of budgets And are you seeing that term now be able to access more and more envelopes, more and more buckets of funding from an advertiser perspective?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, I would take it further than just internet and out of home. I would take it all the way to TV, because a lot of places with long dwell times see a strategy that is very similar to that of TV. So when people are looking at, well, there are fewer primetime viewers, there are, you know, some of these things are changing. Certainly TV is not dying, but there is a difference now, and I think that the digital aspect of the strategies allows it to tap into almost everything that's out there, except for maybe print.
This is a very important perspective that I have not heard from any network operator, and that is that digital out of home can access literally any ad budget.
Yeah, I think so. It depends. I mean, not a specific network. A specific network is not going to be able to go out and get everything else. But depending on the characteristics of that network as a whole, I think that it's going to be something that is going to actually engulf all of the other media networks, all the other ways of media that are out there. And the reason why I think that is because we've seen the technology improve, and everything is going to be digital one day. Every sign is going to be digital. So where does it stop?